All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining ShipStation's webinar today. And my name is Jenny Wen. I am the Partner Marketing Manager over here at ShipStation. And I'm excited to introduce you guys to one of our awesome partners and speakers today, Charles Michael from Stitch Labs. And together, he and Kevin Ray from ShipStation will share on how you guys can achieve operational efficiency in your fulfillment process. With that, I'm actually going to pass it off to Charles and Kevin to introduce themselves and get this webinar started. And again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jenny. Really excited to be here today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're really looking forward to sharing deep insights into fulfilling smarter to provide operational efficiency. My name is Charles Michael. I'm head of partnerships here at Stitch Labs, and I have been with the company for just over 3 years now and manage the entire partner ecosystem to help enable brands be successful.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Ray. I am the Enterprise Sales Manager at ShipStation. I've been with ShipStation for about 5 years, and prior to ShipStation, I had a role on the front end of e-commerce. So I'm very experienced with the websites and all that goes on before the fulfillment process. And in my spare time, I love to play soccer and drive cars.
All right. Well, today we will be discussing why this information is important to you and what you should take away. Common operational challenges for brands as they continue to scale, so you can identify areas in your business to improve, how to manage the busiest times of the year while still ensuring your customers are having the best experience possible, ways to implement advanced order logistics to improve on operational inefficiencies you might be experiencing as you continue to generate more and more orders, merchandising strategies to help you increase your profit heading into the holiday season, and we'll close out by highlighting 2 client success stories who have benefited from the solution. First, before we jump into the slides, we'd like to level set on why this is important and why you should care. The holidays are right around the corner, and we want you to be prepared. We understand how these are the busiest times of the year, and e-commerce brands have the best opportunity to grow their sales and profitability, increase their loyal customer following, provide a unique customer experience, and delight their existing customers. It's never too late to make minor tweaks to your operation to make sure your customers are being satisfied, from providing cost-effective shipping options, shortening the time orders are received by customers, and implementing unique merchandising strategies to delight your customer base. We want you to be prepared as much as possible and hope the information in today's webinar will spawn creative ideas and processes you can implement during the holiday season or as you level up your operation going into 2019. In order to recognize these operational inefficiencies, we'd like to talk about why these reasons have such an impact on brands. In the next section, we'll cover how the Stitch and ShipStation solution can overcome these challenges and set up your operation for success during the busiest times of the year. But first, it's important you have a proper inventory availability for high volume days and seasons. The last thing you want is to miss out on any potential sales due to products not being available or in the right warehouse location for fulfillment. We suggest you take proper inventory counts and forecasts based on historical sales data. This will help you have an idea on how much inventory you should have for each product. Managing overselling on products and backorders is very difficult without the proper system, and we'll talk about ways to prevent these issues from happening in the first place. And so I'll hand it over to Kevin to finish off the last 3 bullet points.
Great, thanks, Charles. So the first thing I want to discuss are the different carrier services and how they can be different. And first thing I want to mention is ShipStation gives a lot of different carrier options. We offer the major carriers that a lot of businesses are familiar with, like USPS, FedEx, UPS, DHL. Then we also offer a lot of other carriers that are not as widely known, that are aimed at either regions of the US or consolidation or shipping overseas. And when considering different carrier services, a big thing for a lot of companies is rates. So going into the different rates, different places to figure out which are going to be the best for you. It can depend on things like zones or the transit times, and then also different policies, what exactly you are shipping. For example, hazardous good may have to be designated, and maybe only a certain carrier will allow it. And then the next big thing is simplifying the workflow, as this can increase the time it takes to get labels out the door, or increase the time it takes to get packages to your customers. So utilizing a product like ShipStation can make you as efficient as possible, and then going back also provides you all of those different carrier options that work well for your business. Then the next thing is the returns process, which a lot of companies deal with. And with speaking to some of our clients, it can take up sometimes, before coming to ShipStation, 25% of their customer service time. So utilizing things like a branded returns portal to allow an easy self-service return for your customer can improve that experience. And we have found that businesses that offer a self-service return are more likely to get more sales, as the customer knows if there is something that causes them to return the package, they can do that really easily. Otherwise, also just providing a really easy application for the customer service agents to do a agent-based return can make that process a lot easier if the recipient does have to contact the business to initiate that return. Then the last thing to consider on that point is the including the return label with the outgoing label that some businesses do, and this is another thing that ShipStation offers if you want to provide that with the original outgoing label, which can make it really easy for someone to then place that return. So then next I want to hand it back to Charles so he can go over our mutual solution.
Yes, thanks, Kevin. So in this next section, we'll be talking through how the Stitch Labs and ShipStation solution solves these operational challenges and allows brands to implement advanced order logistics. And so we developed an integration a long time ago between Stitch Labs and ShipStation to provide e-commerce brands with a complete solution for inventory and order management and shipping software for pick, pack, and ship. If you don't mind moving to the next slide, Jenny, this way we can talk through how we help high volume and high growth brands accurately manage their inventory, orders, purchasing, fulfillment, and reporting to ensure smooth and efficient operations. We have hundreds of mutual clients who have benefited from the solution, and the logos listed below are just a few we wanted to highlight for you today. We'll walk through a series of diagrams to showcase how the solution solves common operational challenges and what you can do with our solution to execute unique merchandising techniques during the peak periods. Direct connectivity from sales channels to shipping softwares create a limitation for brands. Brands require configurable, complex operational workflows to handle things like routing, hold periods, and dynamically changing orders based on real-time inventory availability. Brands require flexibility to support one warehouse to multiple warehouses, along with managing other areas inventory is stored. But these decisions and migrations cannot take 6 to 12 months. You need to be able to move much faster. Without the proper systems, it's very difficult to support a brand's needed complexities and flexibility. It's incumbent on upstream applications to provide these key values. Without an inventory and order management solution like Stitch, a high growth and high volume brand is dependent on the sales channel or shipping solution native functionality to fully manage their inventory and orders. Especially under peak periods and the holidays, this prevents a brand from having the necessary control, visibility, and flexibility to scale their business, ensure a quality end-to-end customer experience, and operationally support marketing and merchandising initiatives. The diagram outlines a brand's workflow when connecting sales channels to ShipStation directly. Orders pushed to ShipStation for fulfillment and ship notifications, and tracking information is pushed back to the sales channel. Inventory and orders are managed within sales channel or shipping software. The sales channel and or shipping solution doesn't necessarily have the functionality or sophistication to support peak periods or unique merchandising strategies such as pre-orders, back orders, geo-routing, and so on. It's a very cumbersome manual process to combine reports to determine sales velocity data for inventory repurchasing, usually all done through Excel. And for brands to be successful, they need an operating system to help them automate many of these processes to provide opportunities to expand without being overwhelmed by managing thousands of orders manually. And we'll move to the next slide to outline the advantages to connecting sales channels with Stitch ShipStation via Stitch. When an operating system to manage inventory and orders is implemented, this solution sits between your sales channels and the warehouse or warehouses, which opens the door to many cost and time savings. Orders flow into the inventory and order management solution like Stitch from multiple sales channels, including wholesale, big box retailers via EDI integration, Shopify, online stores, marketplaces, bricks and mortars, etc. Because the operational layer is happening after the cart, they are able to more easily expand to new warehouses and have better visibility and control over their operations. Through this integration between ShipStation and Stitch, you add more flexibility, detail, and control your order fulfillment process. Brands are able to geo-route orders according to business logic that sales channels lack, such as the location of stock relative to your buyer. During peak periods in the holidays, this is extremely important and will ensure your customers are getting their order on time and not paying a premium to do so. This also mitigates any unhappy family members who don't receive their orders in time. You also have the ability to set overflow locations. For example, when the main warehouse becomes out of stock of a particular product, Stitch will automatically route the order to the secondary warehouse for fulfillment without delaying the order. And also you're able to communicate operational info that most sales channels lack, such as bin locations, shipping costs, and bundled components. These are critical when tracking and managing inventory and orders accurately. You can also choose when and how orders are passed to fulfillment solutions, which means you can hold orders for a certain period of time until they get fulfilled to support a special request or changes after the initial order was placed. We'll go over that in more detail later on. Outside of these key points, you're also able to execute unique merchandising strategies to drive orders and a loyal customer base. By using Stitch Labs as that intelligence layer between sales channels, the shipping solution, and the warehouses with inventory, brands gain access to robust optimization and automation. And so on our next slide details most of what I mentioned just a little bit ago. And we'll be sharing this deck after the webinar, and we'd encourage you to use this slide as reference. We'll move forward and go through some of these points in detail later on. Now that you're familiar with the general solution between the sales channel, Stitch Labs, and ShipStation, Kevin will get into the specifics on how you can streamline your workflow once the order is digested from Stitch into ShipStation.
Thanks, Charles. So yeah, one thing that's really important to ShipStation, really one of the key values of the application is making your fulfillment process as efficient as possible. The less manual work and clicks that an agent has to do, and the less decision-making process, the better. And one thing that we've seen our merchants do to really help that process is utilize our automation rules and filtering capabilities. So in terms of automating, we can automate on the product level. So if we know a product shipping weight and we're not receiving that from the order source, we can save that product weight. We also can put things in like dimensions or the actual bin and aisle location of that product within the warehouse. Or if a product always ships with a certain service, we can indicate that. The next thing is service mapping. So service mappings is applying the carrier service that the customer requested. So if on the checkout, if you offer an expedited carrier option, then when the order comes into ShipStation, it'll already have that carrier selected. So that way an agent is not taking the time to select it or choosing which carrier service that they want to use. Then next is automation rules. So automation rules is one of the most powerful features that ShipStation offers, and main benefit there again is to save yourself time and reduce errors and take the decision-making process away from someone. And automation rules can be used to apply multiple things. Really common examples are if an order falls between a certain weight range or it's above a certain amount, maybe I want to apply insurance automatically. So automation rules can, for the most part, automate the selection process for anything in ShipStation. Anything an agent would do can most likely be accomplished via the automation rules. And then along with automation and all of those settings is filters. Filters are what really apply automation. So it could be weight or other values. Filters can also be used for the fulfillment workflow. We know that single item orders are some of the easiest orders to fulfill, since you're not having to put multiple items in a single box. So you can easily single out those orders and then process those all together. Next is expedited orders. So if a customer is paid more for an expedited shipping service and they're expecting their package quickly, it's recommended to get those out the door as quickly as possible. So being able to filter those out allows you to fulfill those first. That way you don't run the risk of meeting a deadline and having an unhappy customer experience. Then also carriers, carriers may pick up at certain times during the day. So being able to process all of one carrier together allows you to have those neat together and available for that carrier when they show up. That way you're not risking missing the carrier and having to ship out packages that could have went out today, tomorrow, which will then once again just allow you to get get packages to your customers as quickly as possible. So next thing I'd like to cover is some of the workflows that ShipStation offers inside the application. Very first of which is batch printing. Batch printing refers to creating lots of shipping labels or packing slips in a single print job. And this is something that ShipStation does well, better than any other application out there. We have no limits in terms of the amount of labels you can create in a single print job. A lot of applications do. So we have clients that are processing 100 or even 1,000 labels in a single print job. So this allows them to get labels out as quickly as possible. This with a high-speed printer can allow you to fulfill as fast as any company out there. Then the other workflow we see is scan to print, and what scan to print refers to is scanning an order level barcode on a packing slip, which then pulls up the order in ShipStation, so you then can create that label. And this workflow is used most often when you may not know which or what the weight is of the order or what carrier service you want to use. So this allows you to pick and pack, come back to the printing station, scan the order level barcode, and then pull up that order and then quickly lock in the weight or apply a carrier service at that point and then create the label. Another thing with this is it allows you to double check the order. So if you're selling high dollar items, it allows someone at the printing station to double check and make sure that the correct inventory is in the order. And then along with that is also the barcode scan action. So in addition to being able to scan an order level barcode to find the order, we also can print out a list of barcode scan actions that you can have on at the workstation or on the box itself. So example being the package goes, or the order goes into a certain box, and now I can scan a barcode to automatically apply those dimensions now that I know that this is the box type that the order requires. Or if I want to scan a certain carrier service to apply that to an order, you can do so. There's pretty much a barcode scan for anything that you want to do in ShipStation, and you can actually take your settings that you've built yourself and turn those into barcode scans to make it really easy to apply those actions that you commonly do to your orders. So next, I'd like to pass it back to Charles, who can share with you things that you should consider in your merchandising strategy.
Great, yes. Now that we outlined the solution to implement advanced order logistics to streamline your fulfillment and save a whole bunch of time, we'd like to shed light on several unique merchandising strategies you can benefit from by using Stitch Labs and ShipStation. The first merchandising strategy, which is one of the common challenges for modern high growth brands who are growing rapidly, are managing back orders or overselling. Not being able to have the right inventory at the right place at the right time is the biggest missed opportunity a brand can have. Managing back orders and overselling can ensure you're maximizing sales opportunities as much as possible. Having the proper inventory control in place to give you visibility into how much product inventory you have and when you need to replenish stock will keep your sales flowing. Automating the back order management will allow you to capture the sale even when the product might not be available or it's on its way from the manufacturer or supplier. With our solution, you have the ability to auto split orders into fulfillable and back ordered items, providing partial shipment. Once inventory becomes available, those back orders are automatically released and sent to ShipStation to be fulfilled. Automatic shipment notifications are partial shipments are sent to the customer, notifying them their products are going to arrive soon. To describe an actual use case, one of our clients, Chubbies, a men's shorts company, had trouble with back orders and overselling on their highest volume sales days, negatively impacting customer experience and missed sales opportunities. Also, another client, Peak Designs, a photography backpack company, would regularly run into orders that contained a back order item because they run on a very lean inventory. The number of these orders were too high and they couldn't even split it manually, and it would just let it sit until stock becomes available again. Because of that, they had a high support ticket counts and frequent disappointed customers with delayed orders. Stitch helped them save over 600 support tickets over the holidays due to automated back order management and order splitting. Our next merchandising strategy is bundles. Bundles are another strategy you can implement to drive higher cart values, unique purchasing operations for customers, and to move aging inventory that you can't get rid of. With the ShipStation and Stitch solution, you can build out a bundled products or a series of individual products as one SKU. This allows you to create bundles in Stitch without committing inventory to a bundled quantity, leaving individual products inventory available. When an order comes into Stitch as a bundle and gets pushed out for fulfillment, ShipStation receives the bundle components as individual line items. This reduces any error for your warehouse team to pack the wrong items or having to look up what products make up the bundle. These orders are then ready for easy and quick fulfillment, speeding up the fulfillment process to get the order in your customer's hands faster. We have many clients who create bundles out of aging inventory to decrease dead stock and unsellable items due to these products being out of season or if they're not popular. And so this is a great way to move inventory and generate revenue fast. Lastly, before we move on to some extra merchandising strategies Kevin will go over, we'd like to review the power of pre-orders. Pre-orders are a fantastic way to understand demand for a product or improve cash flow by receiving payment upfront. This can also be a unique way to engage your customer base through a targeted marketing campaign around common product requests from your customers. Often these pre-orders are purchased alone or alongside available inventory. However, because pre-orders are not fulfillable sales until stock is received, it's very difficult and it's a hassle for brands to leverage as a merchandising technique. THINX, a women's underwear company, for example, ran a pre-order campaign years ago and learned firsthand the operational challenges it comes with, pushing the team to avoid pre-order campaigns in the future. Stitch has the ability to automatically split pre-order items from regular sales orders. The in-stock items are fulfilled and pre-orders are held onto until the inventory becomes available when the pre-order items becomes back in stock. Stitch automatically releases those pre-order items. Ship notifications for customer communication on partial shipments are sent to the customer. Manually managing these pre-orders can create a time suck for your team and often doesn't provide the ROI you originally set out to achieve. But with Stitch, brands like THINX can easily experiment with pre-order campaigns because the operational burden is lowered. I'll now hand it over to Kevin to cover additional merchandising strategies.
Thanks, Charles. So at ShipStation, we've seen a lot of success from our small to enterprise customers on branded shipping. A lot of companies are utilizing plain brown boxes, and during the holiday rush, we recommend making your packages stand out so that way your customers have your brand at the top of their mind. If you're a ShipStation user, one way to help with the branded experience is utilizing our branded tracking page. What this is, it's a map of the country that shows the recipient where their package is at any point in time. It's also showing them what was purchased. Additionally, it has links to your social media or back to your website. And we have found that the tracking page is the most clicked on link of any page out there. So most customers are clicking on this tracking page as soon as they receive the email. So providing them a branded experience is recommended as it keeps them engaged with your brand. And then in addition to this, we're also offering, as I mentioned previously, the branded returns portal. So this is a link you can also include on this branded tracking page. And with Amazon's easy return process, the typical e-commerce customer these days expects the same. So I mean, one of those things is having a free return strategy, and it could be a deciding factor between whether a customer goes with your product or something else that's comparable. And even if you aren't offering a free returns policy, you want to make sure that the process is easy and outlined and is friendly to the customer. We've offered this free brand returns portal for a little while now, and it's been something that's been widely adopted by our clients that offer free returns. So it's definitely recommended thing to have. Next is just the shipping options. Having more shipping options can help. I mean, some customers that are very loyal to a certain carrier, so even though it may cost them more, they're going to select that carrier. And then going back, a certain carrier may be the only one who can make that transit deadline for a certain holiday. So having those different carrier options can be really beneficial and help drive those sales. And one of the benefits in ShipStation then too is the ability to then do some of course rate shopping on our end to decide if you do give them a generic option that just says expedited, then the power is in your hands to then select which one that you want to use. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it back off to Charles so he can share how some of our merchants have made use of these features and more.
Thanks, Kevin. We're rocking and rolling here, and thanks again for everyone joining us today. We have a fantastic audience, and we're going to move forward in the next section. We'll go over client success stories who have benefited from implementing advanced order logistics and these unique merchandising strategies. The first success story we'll start off with is Evie's Tree, who provides women's wear through various sales channels. The challenge for Evie's Tree was that they were growing extremely fast, from working out of a garage to a fully operational business with 2 warehouses, a storefront and their online Shopify store. With 2 to 3 new products released per week to frequent pre-order campaigns, Evie's Tree needed a holistic inventory and order management system to keep up with the customer demand, especially during the holiday season and peak periods. Evie's Tree implemented the ultimate operational tech stack, Stitch Labs, Shopify, and ShipStation, to gain a holistic view and control across inventory, orders, and fulfillment. They now can fully focus on revenue opportunities and expanding their business further because they have the confidence in an extremely strong and reliable tech stack to support their operations. And I'll hand it back to Kevin for the second success story.
So this client is Austin Bazaar, which is also based here in Austin, Texas. And as they grew, they did experience some challenges like any fast-growing e-commerce business. The main thing with them was increase the number of selling channels that they were selling on. We just know simply the more selling channels that you use, the more sales that you're going to get. And then managing all of those sales can be a challenge. So once again, having a solution like Stitch Labs and ShipStation can help alleviate some of those challenges. And in this case, it was hard for Austin Bazaar to keep track of everything, just all the orders coming in from all over the place and scaling. So being able to have everything in one place and then being able to keep track of things like shipping cost and the volume that they were doing gave them a lot of insights. And some of the solutions that we provided are the ability to see all of those orders together or separately. So if you want to just see marketplace orders like Amazon or eBay first and then see other order sources as well, you can see those together or separately. One feature that has a lot of advantages in ShipStation is our ability to tag certain orders. So tags can be used for all sorts of things. They can be used to tag expedited orders or tag orders that may be on back order or something that is going to be drop shipped. And along those lines, also then automation rules, being able to apply the carrier services to orders as they import, then filtering out orders that are for certain carriers or certain tags allows them to know what they need to work on and what may need to wait. And then secondly, utilizing our branding helped them a lot with in offering that branded experience across the entire sales cycle. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to Charles who can go over some additional best practices.
So beyond these customer success stories that we mentioned, we've spoken with thousands of e-commerce businesses, and these are some additional best practices to keep in mind as we're approaching the holiday season. All these items ties into the fulfilling smarter and more efficiently theme that we're discussing here today. To start off, we suggest to adjust order hold periods so your team has breathing room to make any adjustments prior to fulfillment. Often customers put in orders and need to either change their shipping address, remove items, change sizes, whatever that might be. Hold periods on orders can mitigate any of these errors. Also, it's very important to establish the correct communication channels when troubleshooting any order errors, inventory availability, or customer requests. Just think about the way that your team currently communicates and how they might be improving the communication by establishing new channels for them to take advantage. Without these communication channels, your team won't have a DEFCON channel to find a quick solution when orders are flying out the door. Kevin will elaborate on the last 3 points.
So the first best practice that I want to cover are the deadlines. So one thing that ShipStation does every single year to help is send out a page of all of the carriers' deadlines for their services, so you can reach important deadlines to ensure that packages that are sent out make it to the customer in time before important holidays. For example, the last day you can ship something to get to a certain location before Christmas. And this is a great thing to communicate to your customers that subscribe to your newsletters. Let them know that they must purchase by this time to get the order to their loved ones or themselves in time. Then next is making sure you have the appropriate staffing levels. So making sure that your schedules are providing enough coverage. And with ShipStation, we do offer reporting tools. You can look at the past year and look at order volume to make sure you have the right coverage. And then also utilizing temporary warehouse workers can help some companies that work on a lean staffing schedule. The next thing is pre-packing orders. So it's something that I've seen some of our clients utilize and really help when meeting some of those deadlines. And this refers to taking some of the most popular items and placing them pre-packed, so in boxes ready to go, that they know that they will sell. There's even some companies that will offer certain kits and bundles. As Charles mentioned, what they'll do is they'll actually pre-pack those bundles together as they know they're coming together, if they're offering some sort of sale or deal. So that way, when they sell one, they don't have to do as much pick and pack. That's already done. It's simply going to that bin aisle location, taking the box and maybe providing the packing slip and the label then, and then you're ready to get those out the door. So next I'm going to hand it back to Charles so we can go over some of the takeaways.
Yes, absolutely. So as we wrap up our presentation on fulfilling smarter for inventory and order logistics, we'd like to review these 3 key takeaways. Implementing solutions to support advanced order logistics and fulfillment operations will save your team an incredible amount of time by reducing the time spent managing customer orders. Your customers will also be delighted with an exceptional customer experience by reducing shipping costs and delivering time for them, which will drive repeat and loyal customers who will continue to support your brand. This is exceptionally important as we approach the holidays and upcoming peak periods. We want you to be prepared as much as possible. And if it's too late for your team to implement new processes, it's never too late to begin evaluating workflows to support your inventory and order management automation before the holidays to then put in place once things start to settle down and we move into 2019. We want to hear from you, and we want to learn about your current challenges to advise on what's best for your business as you continue to generate more and more orders and grow the business even further. And so with that, thank you again. We really appreciate your time, and I'll hand it back to Jenny, who will have some closing remarks for us today.
Thanks, Charles, and thank you, Kevin and Charles, for all the info that you shared, and just thank you for everyone once again for joining. We hope that the information was really valuable to you. For the sake of time, any questions that we received over chat, I think I spoke to some of you. We'll reach out personally and just get some of you set up. I know some of you had questions over how to set up Stitch Labs or how to further do automation rules with ShipStation. So we'll reach out after this webinar, and both Charles and Kevin's contact information is on the slide, but it will also be included on the webinar landing page that you use to sign up. We'll also be following up with some emails to everyone who attended with the webinar slides, as well as this recording of this presentation for your reference. And yeah, feel free to reach out to either Kevin or Charles with any questions that you have. We really want to be there for you this holiday season. So I'll be closing out this session now, but we hope that you enjoyed the session and that you have a great rest of your day and a fantastic weekend. Thanks, guys.